as many nations in Europe are moving to reimpose tougher measures to stop the surge of COVID cases. Anti-vaccine groups protest in several cities across the continent.
The Netherlands introduce a new lockdown, closing non-essential shops and public places from Sunday as cases of the new variant surge across Europe. Various countries across Europe start vaccinating children against COVID-19 as the number of cases of the new variant increases.
Russia sent a pair of nuclear-capable long-range bombers to patrol the skies over Belarus. This mission comes amid tensions with the West over Ukraine. Clashes took place between police and protesters at an anti-vaccine demonstration in central London. Around 5,000 people gathered at Parliament Square and then later outside Downing Street. The so-called Freedom Rally took place as London's mayor declared a major incident in the capital over a huge surge of the Omicron variant. Thousands marched in the streets of Paris and other cities throughout France to protest against new government restrictions to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The French government wants to require proof of vaccination for those entering restaurants, cafes and other public establishments. Nearly 3,000 people are in intensive care with COVID-19 in France. Every Saturday for the past few weeks in Vienna, tens of thousands of people have taken to the streets to voice their discontent against the vaccine mandate starting in February for almost all residents over 14 years old. People demonstrated in Copenhagen against the COVID-19 vaccine and for the children's right to choose. The Scandinavian country recorded on Friday a new record of more than 11,000 cases in the last 24 hours, including more than 2,500 cases linked to the Omicron variant. In Barcelona, groups gathered against the recent introduction of a COVID pass to access public spaces in the Catalan region. The protest was taking place for the third week in a row, with organisers saying that they will continue as long as current restrictions remain in place. In Hamburg, numerous people held banners saying no compulsory vaccination. According to the police, around 11,500 participants were present. 10 days ago, the Bundestag decided on a mandatory vaccination for healthcare workers for March 2022.
In a bid to curb the spread of Omicron, the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte has announced a strict lockdown for the Netherlands over the Christmas period. The new rules that take effect on Sunday include the closure of non-essential shops, bars, restaurants and public places. People are also being urged to stay at home and limit the number of people they meet. Rutte said the restrictions were unavoidable. In the UK, extremely high numbers of the new Omicron variant continue to be reported. Authorities are concerned about the potential strain on the National Health Service. Experts expect a huge increase in hospitalisations if new restrictions are not imposed. The Mayor of London is taking action.
We're incredibly concerned by the huge surge in the Omicron variant. Hospital admissions are going up, but also staff absences are going up by a massive level. So I've taken the decision, in consultation with our partners, to declare a major incident today.
France also imposed new regulations on travel to and from the UK, prompting long queues and hundreds to leave before the restrictions came into effect. And in Austria, thousands protested on the streets of Vienna against COVID-19 measures, including mandatory vaccination and the lockdown of those who are not vaccinated. Compulsory vaccination is expected to start in February for all residents over the age of 14. Various countries across Europe have now made it possible for children to be vaccinated against COVID-19. In Portugal, one of the countries with the highest vaccination rates in the world, the doors of vaccination centres opened to 5 to 11-year-olds on Saturday morning. Queues even started at this centre in the capital at 9 a.m. This mother says that grandparents have already been vaccinated, parents have already been vaccinated. Her whole family has. So the only person left was him. That's why they came today, and they'll be back for the second dose. In France, children in high-risk categories or living with immunocompromised people have also started to be vaccinated. According to the French health minister, all children should be eligible for vaccination from Wednesday. This French physician says that as of today, at this health centre, they've opened 50 slots for children. There will also be 100 slots next week, and then they hope there will be some more, but that depends on vaccine delivery. And in Denmark, as new COVID restrictions were announced on Friday, like the closing of cinemas, theatres and concert halls, COVID vaccination for children is solidly underway. This little boy says he's been vaccinated because of the new corona variant. And because he doesn't want to be so sick, he can't eat his dinner. COVID vaccination of children in Estonia also started on Friday.
Russia sent a pair of nuclear-capable long-range bombers to patrol the skies over Belarus, a mission intended to underline close defence ties between the two allies amid tensions with the West. The Russian Defence Ministry said the two strategic strike bombers practiced performing joint tasks with the Belarusian Air Force and Air Defence. The 4-hour patrol marked Russia's third such mission in Belarus since last month and took place amid Western concerns over Russian troop build-up near Ukraine's border. Meanwhile, the so-called hybrid war continues. A Polish spokeswoman informed that in the village of Chermska, a group of migrants tried to storm the Belarusian-Polish border. Poland accuses Belarusian services to use laser and strobe lights to blind Polish soldiers. This month, the Border Guard Service reported nearly 1,200 attempts of illegal border crossing from Belarus to Poland.
Environment activists have protested outside government offices in Belgrade against plans to mine lithium in western Serbia. Mining giant Rio Tinto wants to extract the metal, which is a vital component of laptop and phone batteries. The local council has voted to suspend a development plan that included the mining project after protests across the country. Alexander Vučić has until Christmas to delete the Jadar project from the spatial plan, to make public all the documents signed by his government and the government before that, going back to 2004, and to terminate any contract with Rio Tinto. He has only one option, and that is to thank Rio Tinto, as all normal countries in the world and in Europe would have done, and to expel Rio Tinto. Prime Minister Vučić has responded by saying more transparency is needed about Rio Tinto's mining plans before they can go ahead. And activists say they'll continue protesting until the mining project is abandoned.
The death toll is rising in the Philippines to nearly 100 people after the powerful typhoon Rai hit the country this week. Rai has knocked down power and communication in entire provinces and caused massive destructions, mostly in central Philippines. A governor said her island had been leveled to the ground. More than 300,000 people fled their homes and beachfront resorts as Typhoon Rai ravaged the southern and central regions of the country. The typhoon slammed into the country's southeastern coast Thursday, but the extent of casualties and destruction remains unclear. Thousands of military, police, coast guards and fire personnel are being deployed to assist in search and rescue efforts in the worst affected areas of the vast archipelago. About 20 storms and typhoons batter the Philippines each year, but Rai is the strongest in 2021. Chileans are heading to the polls to decide who will be their next president. The campaign has been polarized between a far-right lawyer and a leftist former student activist. For a country that has voted centrist since the democratic ousting of brutal dictator Augusto Pinochet 31 years ago, the choice between two political extremes is stark.
One of Italy's most wanted criminals has been caught and arrested in a small town in Sardinia. Graziano Messina was sentenced to 30 years in jail in 2020 for drug trafficking, but he went missing before he could be incarcerated. In the early hours of Saturday morning, the 79-year-old was found sleeping in a residential building. He has spent much of his life in jail and is famous for his many prison escapes. The Czech Republic has commemorated the 10th anniversary of the death of Václav Havel, the playwright, dissident, and first president of post-communist Czechoslovakia. Politicians and famous Czech personalities honoured the late statesman by meeting in Slavia Cafe, one of his preferred spots, and laid flowers at a memorial site. To mark the 10 years since his death, An exhibition, film screenings, concerts and a parade also took place.